How would our Halos respond to the threat of an embarrassing 4-game sweep at the hands of the Oakland A's? And how would a few clear, obvious trade candidates respond to the upcoming trade deadline? Well, the answers with an absolute crazy 6-run comeback and an 8-6 victory here on Sunday. We'll discuss the exciting win and all the implications on today's edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast right now.
You are Locked On Angels Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and hello, Postcast people, and welcome to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live after every single Angels game, as always, here on the Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel, and after the fact, wherever you get the Locked On Angels podcast feed. I'm Gavin Carlson. If you don't know who I am, I spent 4 years as a credentialed journalist in the LA area, and I am now, of course, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I am, of course, just like all of you, a diehard Angels fan and a happy Angels fan today, because after 3 consecutive embarrassing losses to these Oakland A's, right when we're about to have the same amount of wins as the Oakland A's, the Angels finally respond. After falling behind 6-0 with my boy, Jose Soriano, not having a good outing, they come all the way back. A 3-run third inning and then a 4-run fourth inning thanks to a Taylor Ward grand slam. Complete the comeback. We get one more in the 5th to leave Anaheim here on Sunday with an 8-6 victory. A lot of key things happened in this game. The response was great. It's just nice to see a win, obviously, every once in a while. But Nolan Schanuel, another great game for him. He's been red hot as of late. Really a career game. He gets on base 5 times, 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch. He did have an RBI through all of that. He's now hitting over 250 just like that after an abysmal start. Obviously, the big story will be Taylor Ward, because with trade rumors everywhere, he has one of his better games in a while, honestly, in like the last 2 months, all because of just one swing of the bat. He still had 2 strikeouts, but we'll take the grand slam. We'll take the 2 for 5. Kevin Pillar, with, really no trade rumors around him as of late because he doesn't play. He gets to play today, and he has a huge game showing with just 2 days before the deadline. Hey, maybe a team should consider trading for him. Also, some good bullpen performances, including a key trade candidate. Already some rumors swirling surrounding Luis Garcia, including rumors that there's already a deal done. We'll talk about all that and more on today's edition of the Postcast. Before we do, a quick shout out to everybody in here. You know how much I appreciate all the support as of late, especially. It has been great. Shout out to Jeff, Daniel Barry, Fut Alex, and everybody else that is always in here. And a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's show, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop for your next plumbing, HVAC, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. And with all that being said, let's jump right into this one. And we have to start with the offensive explosion. We'll get to the Soriano start. That was not great. The 6-run top of the 3rd that put the Angels in the 6-run deficit. But just, if you missed the game, know they were down 6-0. And now let me tell you about the good stuff. The huge comeback in both the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. And coming into this game, what was the issue in this series? Other than just losing, obviously, it was not having multiple good innings in any of the games. In the previous 3 games, only 3 innings total with runs scored. I think 4-run inning, a 3-run inning, and then yesterday just a 1-run inning was all the Angels did. Last night, they didn't even have 2 hits in a single inning. Just a Nolan Schanuel home run was the only form of offense, and no sense of rallies. But today, not 1, not 2, but 3 innings in a row with runs, all after being behind 6-0, and it started in the bottom of the 3rd with a whole lot of chaos. So Zach Neto single, Joe Adell gets hit by a pitch, and a key takeaway, a key theme in this game was a whole lot of walks and hit by pitches thanks to the A's rotation and bullpen, pitching staff that is. Just a whole lot of chaos, not all thanks to good hitting from the Angels. Certainly a little bit of help. We are not foreign to the idea that the Angels need a bit of assistance from the opposing pitching staff in order to get their offense going. But today was a nice combination of getting some help, but also creating some chaos yourself and also cashing in with runners in scoring position because, boy, we know that has been an issue. But like I said, Neto leads off the third with a single. Jo Adell gets hit by a pitch. Nolan Schanuel gets a walk, one of his 5 times getting on base. And then with the bases loaded, down 6-1. Normally I'd say just get a productive out. Or down 6-0. Normally I would say just get a productive out. But obviously 6-0, you need base hits. And so Rengifo grounds out. We know he's been struggling as of late. 2 of his last 20. Right when the deadline's coming up, right when the Angels are listening to offers, would love to see him playing a little bit more like the Rengifo we were seeing a month or two ago before the injury. But he comes up, down 6-0, bases loaded, and all it can do is hit a ground ball to second base. Luckily, there's no double play. A run does score, but you would have liked to see a little bit more, right? You would have liked to see it. But fortunately, we did get a little bit more. Not from Taylor Ward, who, even in a great game, still gave you 2 strikeouts, including one in a huge moment here. 1 out, bases loaded, down 5 runs, and Ward strikes out. But thankfully, Willie Calhoun, who does not get to play every day, who does not play great even when he does play, certainly. But above all, for the most part, has been quite good, given, what he's been in his career, given how we got him, given, the expectations being very low for him. And he comes through in the moment here, bases loaded, and Calhoun, not bases loaded, second and third, and Calhoun, first pitch, fastball outside, and just a great piece of professional hitting, hits a ground ball opposite field. You get a fastball away, 2 outs, you need a base hit. It's not like you're just going for a productive out, but he's able to poke one through on the left side and score 2 runs. Adell scores and Schanuel scores from second. Good to see those wheels. Good to see Schanuel's calf feeling okay. Boy, since that injury, he's been red hot. But Calhoun is able to cut into the lead here with a 2-run single. It becomes 6-3. Unfortunately, that's all we get. Kevin Pillar singles, a part of a 3-hit day for him, gets Calhoun to second, first and second with 2 outs, but then O'Hoppe strikes out. One of the few guys that did not have a great game was Logan O'Hoppe. But you do get 3 in the third, responding to 6 runs. And, given that the bases were loaded, given that there was 2 men on and all this stuff, maybe it would have been nice to see more than 3. But you're not going to complain about scoring 3 runs in an inning ever, and especially not as a comeback, as a response to being down 6-0. I was certainly proud of that inning from our team, and it made me feel good because, boy, I was bummed. My boy Soriano does not do well, and to see the Angels actually for once try to pick their pitcher up, it felt nice. So obviously the job not done at all, just getting 3 runs, but don't worry. This team had more in them. Bottom of the 4th after a Brandon Drury pop out because, boy, Brandon Drury, not good at baseball. What it starts to rally here and what really boosts the entire inning? Walks. Zach Neto gets on for a second straight inning, this time via the walk. Jo Adell strikes out, but Zach Neto steals second, and then with Neto on second and 2 outs, Nolan Schanuel, a great at-bat. I mean, great. 9 pitches. He fouls off 3 pitches in a 4-pitch stretch, and then finally on 3 and 2, takes a ball inside to get a walk, to keep a rally going, first and second now with 2 outs. Then Rengifo comes up. What does he do? He takes a 4-pitch walk, pretty easy for him, and then with the bases loaded, easily, by far, not only the biggest swing of the game, not only the biggest swing in the month for Taylor Ward in the past 2 months, maybe, call me crazy, one of the bigger swings of the year. Not only because it eventually was the difference. A lot of stuttering for me today. Not only did this grand slam obviously give the Angels a 1-run lead when they were down by 3, when they were down by 6 runs just the inning before, but it is no secret that the Angels are considering trading Taylor Ward. It is no secret that I want him out of here. And it's no secret he has been awful. I mean, terrible the last couple of months. So how huge is it for the Angels when they're about to probably, hopefully trade Taylor Ward, that he can show you a flash of excellence, a flash of upside, and, maybe just slightly. Obviously, one swing is never going to, go from you getting 1 prospect for him for getting 4. But who knows? Maybe if one team was interested in Taylor Ward because of all these struggles as of late, but a grand slam like this, a 2-hit day, a big clutch hit, a pretty clutch performance, maybe now instead of 1 team, it's 2 teams. And you cannot overstate the importance of having at least one extra team going after a trade candidate. If it's just one team, they can lowball you to the nth degree. But when it's two, not five, not eight, but even just two teams, you are able to bargain and negotiate and have the leverage of having another team in there trying to get this guy. So who knows? We'll never know, of course. But it is a very realistic possibility that one swing of the bat here today, one grand slam from Taylor Ward, in what has been an awful stretch for him, this could slightly increase the return in a Taylor Ward trade, just by potentially inserting one more interested team in there. A lot of speculation for me, but it's certainly realistic, certainly a possibility. And so, gosh, you cannot understate or overstate how important that swing was, not only for this game, but for the team going forward, and not just in the next couple of days. I mean, in the next couple of years. You never know if you get one or two more prospects because of this swing of the bat, and if one of those prospects becomes something great. So a huge swing from Taylor Ward suddenly makes it 7-6 Angels. They come all the way back. The Angels did add one more in the fifth inning after that Taylor Ward swing in the fourth. And once again, it was a chaotic inning. Kevin Pillar, leadoff double, then a Logan O'Hoppe walk. First and second with nobody out. Drury lines out, but Pillar gets to third. And then Neto gets walked. The bases are loaded. Joe Adell pops out. And then with the bases still loaded, Nolan Schanuel, who had a huge game, gets hit by a pitch. And it's not like he didn't earn it. Another good at-bat, another full count. And on 3-2, he takes a sinker way out of there. It hits Schanuel to walk in a run. Now, very disappointing. Another guy who really could have boosted some trade value with the bases loaded, just like Taylor Ward did the inning before, was Luis Rengifo. He's really been struggling, and boy, it would have been nice to see with the bases loaded, with this offense already putting up 8 runs, with one of your trade candidates already having a grand slam. I'm not asking for a grand slam, but a Rengifo single or something here to get 2 RBIs to, partially erase the slump he's been in, it would have been nice. But nonetheless, Rengifo does strike out, does end the 5th inning, and does just leave it at 8 runs. But still, 8 runs in 3 innings, a 3 spot, a 4 spot, and then a hit by pitch RBI for Nolan Schanuel, but with the bases loaded, erases that whole deficit and gives the Angels an 8-6 lead, and they would not lose it from there thanks to some great bullpen pitching, which we will talk about after our first break. We'll talk about how the Angels fell behind with a 6-run third inning given up by Jose Soriano and company. And then we'll talk about how the bullpen picked them up and responded with great performances, including another trade chip in Luis Garcia. We'll talk about all of that, and we'll get to your comments, as always, after our first break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, for the first time in a while, today's show is brought to you by Stitch Fix, and I'm glad it is because I can finally talk about how much I love Stitch Fix. You know that instant confidence boost you get from an outfit that makes you look really good? I hope you do. Everyone should have a couple outfits at least that make them feel like that. And that's what I get with Stitch Fix. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist who understands your style, size, and here's a key one, folks, your budget. They do all the shopping for you, and it's the easiest way to update your wardrobe this season. All you have to do is just give your stylist your size, your style, and your budget preferences. Like I said, you order boxes when you want and how you want, and there's no subscription required, which in 2024 is so rare. And then when you do all that, they send you 5 just for you pieces, plus outfit recommendations and pro styling advice. And if you don't know what that means, maybe they send you a button-down shirt, but on you it actually looks good if you roll up the sleeves. Maybe there's 3 buttons on the collar. Do I leave 2 of them? Do I leave all 3 buttoned? Do I leave none of them buttoned? They'll let you know all of that. And the best part, when I use it, is I keep what works, what I like, and I send back the rest. Of course, even if it's an expert, which these people certainly are, they can't be in your brain. They can't know exactly what you want. And so, if they send you 5 things and you like 3 or you like 4, you send what you don't like back. Hey, no questions asked, no hurt feelings. It's great. So Stitch Fix, they make it all so easy. I don't really like to shop. I don't like to go to stores and all that stuff. I'm busy. You're busy. We're all busy. It saves you time. It saves you effort. And you get outfits that make you look really good that maybe you didn't even know would look really good on you. So style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started at stitchfix.com/MLB and get $20 off your first fix. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $20 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. You must redeem within 7 days of sign up, and offer does not include kids fixes. Back here live on Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel. This is the Locked On Angels Postcast. I am Gavin Carlson, and the Angels are victorious. Finally. 3 straight losses in a row to open up this 4-game series against the A's at the Big A. And the Angels came into this one with 45 wins. The A's came into this one with 44 wins. That's right. If the A's beat the Angels tonight to complete the 4-game sweep, they also would have tied the Angels in the win column, with the Angels just 2 games ahead in the loss column. Would have started to get really, really embarrassing. But instead, and it really looked like this was going to happen after a 6-run top of the first, but instead, 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth via a grand slam from Taylor Ward, and 1 more in the fifth, completes the 6-run comeback and gives the Angels a big 8-6 victory. We already talked about the whole offensive explosion, including Nolan Schanuel getting on the bases 5 times, 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit by pitch. But he was not the only big guy. Obviously, Taylor Ward, Willie Calhoun was great. Kevin Pillar, 3 for 5. Could a team that needs a nice bench bat and a nice veteran and a nice locker room presence now want to trade for Kevin Pillar? Hopefully. He's been great. I love seeing him play, but the number one priority is cashing in. Other than cashing in, a priority is seeing young guys play well, seeing faces of the franchise for the future playing well. And one of those guys I certainly think is, in that category is Jose Soriano. He has been good. He has been above expectations. And I really just love watching him pitch. I think he has the perfect pitch repertoire in 2024. Throws hard, throws a sinker, throws a slider, forces ground balls, the occasional strikeout. But today, he did not have his stuff. And really, just in 1 inning, the 3rd inning, because it was a 1-2-3 top of the first. And it was a 1-2 walk, 3 top of the second. Just a single, a ground, but then he forces a double play, and then he walks a guy, but then, hey, he gets McCann out, and you have 2 innings with really just not much issues. But then the top of the 3rd, things fall apart. I think that's a book title. It sounds familiar, but things fall apart. A double to Tyler Nevin leads off the inning. Soriano does strike out Max Schumann, but then he gives up a single to the Angels killer, Lawrence Butler. And just like that, it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and then we have issues. All sorts of issues. And it starts with Brandon Drury, who, come on, man. If you can't do anything with the bat, at least do something with the glove. But no. A fielding error by Brandon Drury allows Tyler Nevin to score, allows Lawrence Butler to get the 3rd, and allows Miguel Andujar to reach. And just like that, it's 1-0 A's. You don't get an out, and we were just getting started. Because then Soriano, you know what? You know how much I love seeing a guy respond to adversity, respond to pressure, and in this case, respond to something that was not his fault. Unfortunately, Soriano did not do that in this inning, because he responds to the Drury error by walking J.J. Bleday, and then by giving up a double to Brent Babe Ruth Rooker. And I say that because Brent Rooker has been unbelievable against the Angels. He better be traded in the next 2 days, because he does not belong on this A's lineup, in this A's roster. He belongs on a contender. He has been great. And with the bases loaded, on the first pitch against Soriano, a fastball right down the middle. And Brent Rooker is way too good of a hitter to not take advantage. He absolutely rips one to right field. Butler scores, and Andujar scores, Bleday scores, Rooker clears the bases, a bases clearing 3 RBI double. And it goes from 1-0 to 4-0, and it's already a huge crooked number bad inning for Soriano. But there was still more. He strikes out Seth Brown. You're thinking, okay, runner on second, you get a big strikeout. Now you're going to close out this inning. But no, he gives up a single to Abraham Toro on a 1-2 pitch. You got him in a great spot, and you actually throw a really good pitch. A knuckle curve way below the zone on 1 and 2, that even though it's way below the zone, because of Soriano's great pitch repertoire, confuses Toro enough to he goes after it. It's way below the knees, and he goes after it. But somehow, he pokes a liner to center field. Rooker scores from second. It's 5-0, and that was all Ron Washington needed to see to make the change. He goes to Jose Marte, and Jose Marte comes in, and he doesn't come through. He gets it to 3-2, and then he throws a fastball. Once again, not a terrible pitch. Down and away, and McCann rips a double, rips a liner, to left field, down the line, and Toro scores. It's 6-0 before Marte then strikes out Tyler Nevin. The key takeaway here is a combination of bad pitching, but also some great hitting, man. And it just proves. And sometimes we forget it as Angels fans because we don't see it a lot. But this game, this inning, proves that even the worst lineups in baseball, even names you've never heard of, or even a Brent Rooker who maybe you didn't know a lot about coming into this year, but you certainly know his name now, they are all still professional hitters at the end of the day. And even if you throw great pitches, sometimes a hitter can just find a way. And so a knuckle curve way below the zone that gets ripped for a base hit, can't do nothing about. A fastball down and away out of the zone that McCann rips for a double, you can't really do nothing about. Certainly a fastball right down the middle to Brent Rooker you can do something about, and that was obviously the biggest hit of the inning, a 3 RBI double, but still, a combo of bad pitching, but also just some great hitting, puts the Angels down 6-0, and luckily, fortunately for us, we come all the way back and win the game, baby. And after the break, we'll talk about the bullpen doing their job, because very easily, we've seen all these games be chaotic, this being the greatest example, very easily, when it's 7-6 Angels, when it's 8-6 Angels, and there's still an entire game to be had. It was 8-6 Angels in the 5th inning. This very, very easily could have been a 9-8 A's victory. If the bullpen gives up 3 runs in 4 innings, that's not that crazy, right? We've certainly seen that. But no, instead, after Marte, the Angels bullpen shuts the door. Contreras, Quijada, Ben Joyce, who, oh yeah, Ben Joyce was great today, and Luis Garcia with trade rumors flying. They all came through, no runs in 4 innings. We'll talk about that after our last break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. And of course, as always, we'll get to those comments as well. We'll take our last break here and be right back. Now, once again, today's show is brought to you by Supply House. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business. And here's my favorite part. You talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can also get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. Angels erase a 6-run deficit with an 8-6 thrilling comeback victory thanks to a great Taylor Ward performance, a grand slam from him, thanks to 5 times, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 times Nolan Schanuel gets on base, and the Angels are able to avoid a really embarrassing 4-game sweep at the hands of the Oakland A's, once again winning 8-6. Like I said before the break, it was 8-6 in the 5th inning. There were still 4 innings where the A's could have put up 2 runs to tie the game, 3 runs, 4 runs. They put 6 up in just the 3rd inning alone. Very easily, they could have put up more runs, but instead, a great pitching performance from the rest of the bullpen. Contreras, in an inning and a third, no hits, no walks, no nothing, and a strikeout. The ERA is still not great, 4.4, but 4.4 is not 5.4, it's not 6.4. It's okay. Great performance from him. Jose Quijada has been perfect since he's come back from that huge, long absence. He's been great. I mean, absolutely great. Still has not given up a run since he's come back. Now 3 performances for him. Now 3 innings. He's given up just 1 hit and 1 walk. He gave up a walk on July 24th, July 26th, 1 hit. And today, neither. No hits, no walks, no nothing. And the best part of all, he strikes out the side, baby. 3 strikeouts. 3 strikeouts in the 6th inning. And from that point on, you could feel the momentum switching. This red-hot A's offense suddenly gets silenced by Contreras and especially by Quijada with the striking out the side in the 6th inning. So then comes Ben Joyce. And Ben Joyce It's a roller coaster with him. It certainly is. But not tonight. Ben Joyce, or not tonight, today. Ben Joyce was great. 2 innings, 3 strikeouts, no hits, no walks. The ERA is 2.11. There is speculation from some, including me, that Ben Joyce will eventually be the closer of this team. And, earlier in the year, eventually was next year. Maybe in the last couple of weeks, it was earlier being, in the last month of the season or something. It could be like in 2 days, Ben Joyce could be the closer of this team. Because the last name I'll mention, Luis Garcia, who does get the save tonight, or today, I keep saying tonight, it's 4 p.m. Today, with a perfect 9th inning, no hits, no walks, his 4th save of the year for Luis Garcia. Not only is it a possibility that it gets traded, there are some rumors, some reports that there's already a deal in place for Luis Garcia. That it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That maybe the Angels are just waiting, seeing if one more team will jump in. And this performance from him certainly did not help their case. They being the Angels. If there was one team that had a deal in place and Garcia comes in a rare opportunity to save a game and he does just that, once again, just like the Taylor Ward Grand Slam, we'll never know for sure. But you never know if this performance maybe just gets one more GM. Right? It sounds crazy at first to say one performance when there's 162 games is going to change something. But all it takes is changing one mind, one set of eyeballs, one brain to change everything. And so, sure, it's 1 inning against the Oakland A's in a useless game at the end of the day because neither of those teams are really competing for anything. But at the end of the day, Luis Garcia came out in the 9th, had a 1-2-3 9th inning. And if there was one team that had a deal in place and the Angels were waiting for one more, hopefully, for our sake, for the future of this franchise, one more team liked what they saw, comes in, and now there's a bidding war. And like I said in the first segment, talking about Taylor Ward, all you want when you have a trade chip is a bidding war. Because if it was going to be one prospect, now maybe it's 2. Or now it's a better single prospect. That's what we have to hope for. And we will see in the next coming days. Obviously, the deadline on Tuesday, we'll know by then. Luis Garcia, I certainly expect to be traded. Hopefully, Taylor Ward is as well. Hopefully, Tyler Anderson, the most valuable trade chip of all, is as well. And we'll see about Luis Rengifo. Heck, Kevin Pillar, big game. Maybe he'll be gone. You never know. They could trade everybody. Willie Calhoun could be on the block. You never know. But this is a very successful day for the Angels. The day after, you have a great trade of Carlos Estevez, where even the Phillies president of baseball ops himself admits they probably gave up too much. Once again, I still can't believe that basically a GM came out and admitted that they probably gave up too much. But the day after that, the day after a good Angels trade, a couple trade chips, Taylor Ward, Luis Garcia, they both played really, really well. Kevin Pillar, maybe as well. So it's a win in so many regards. The young guys played well because we had a 5 on-base performance from Nolan Schanuel. Some on-bases from Zach Neto, from Logan O'Hoppe. The trade chips did well, and you got the win. So 3-4-3, and not really much Angels foolishness other than a Brandon Drury error, but that's just par of the course at this point. So really successful day, really successful game, and some positivity going into this trade deadline. We'll really quickly get to these comments before we wrap the postcast up. Jeff, as always, with the first comment today, he says, not holding my breath, 9 outs to go. Maybe we actually get a win. He's always in here early, because if you don't know, I have the stream up, scheduled, ready to go, and you're able to come in here before I go live and leave some comments. And Jeff is always in here, in the 7th inning, in the 8th inning, giving you his thoughts. He is here. He was nervous that they were going to blow this one, but like I said, the bullpen, including Ben Joyce and Luis Garcia, both were great. He says, I can't believe we actually won. Daniel Barry says, happy Sunday, as always. Fud Alex, Angels win? What? Anthony Jimenez with a similar sentiment. Wait, what? Angels beat the A's? Yeah, I know. It seems like a miracle because the A's have been owning us as of late. Fud Alex says, Rengifo will be traded. I wanted him to stay. Did you see something, or are you just making a prediction? I'll quickly type Rengifo into Google to see if any news came out, but I just thought that it was, rumors. We're seeing, the Royals. That's right. The Royals have been having the most interest in Rengifo and Taylor Ward, actually. So who knows? Hopefully today you get rid of Taylor Ward would be my preference. We have an A's fan in here saying his name is My A's Bias, and he says, this loss is on the A's management. They sent down Hogan Harris, who has a 2.98 ERA, and went with Beto, who was supposed to stay in the bullpen. I did not know any of that, but I appreciate the knowledge. We'll take it. Thank you, A's management, for saving the Angels from an embarrassing sweep. Anaheim Angel back in here as always. Appreciate you. He says, shocked to see Ward with the grand slam. If he gets traded somehow, his last game as a Halo. Yeah, exactly. A fitting way to end. Maybe not. Because it's, in some regards, we have the Taylor Ward experience. We had a grand slam, but we also had 2 strikeouts, but still a net positive game for sure. If it is his last game, you still have to thank the guy for his contributions to the team, but it is time for him to go. It is time for him to be replaced by young bats, younger, more promising future bats. Even just his absence will let a Logan O'Hoppe move up in the lineup. We'll let Nolan Schanuel always hit first or second or third. And let Zach Neto move up a little bit in the lineup. Those are key things. You want these guys to get as many at-bats as possible, not a very on and off Taylor Ward. A's bias back, and he is showing his A's bias because he says Brent Rooker is a top 5 hitter in the game. Okay, he's been really good. He's been good. But top 5 hitter in the game is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. You got to do it for more than a year. You got guys like Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani. And, when they're healthy, or Ronald Acuna, these guys are better hitters than Brent Rooker because they've done it for much longer. Anthony Jimenez says, did Rendon's... Oh, man. The laugh of the day goes to Anthony Jimenez. He said, did Rendon's trade value go up since he didn't play? Wow, that is hilarious. That is hilarious and probably true. Probably true. Although if his value goes up when he doesn't play, man, his value's got to be sky high because this guy never plays. He never plays. Fud Alex says, I seen on our Angels page on Instagram from a reporter that Ward and Rengifo will be traded. Well, there's certainly rumors that there's interest. Like I said, the most common interest being from the Royals. We've also heard the Red Sox wanting Luis Rengifo. I've heard Luis Rengifo thrown in rumors for the Dodgers, right? Plenty of guys. And right on cue, right when I say that, the Dodgers fan comes in and says, trade him to the Dodgers now. So yeah, certainly there's interest in these guys, and of course there is. Rengifo, even after a really bad stretch now, he's on 2 of his last 20, I believe. He's still hitting 300. He's still a switch hitter with solid speed, with a solid glove, with the occasional pop as well, who's done it at the top of a really bad Angels lineup. So he's certainly a valuable chip. Of course, there's going to be interest, but until you see that there's a trade in place, don't let reports let you think that he's actually gone. The only one that it is interesting, like I said, is Luis Garcia, because there are reports from credible people that not only is there interest, but there's actually a trade in place. That the latest rumor, at least what I've seen, is that the Angels are waiting to see if someone can top it. But that is a clear signal that unless something crazy happens, Garcia will be traded. Interest, however, in Rengifo and Taylor Ward is a little bit different. So in the next 2 days, obviously, we will find out if that interest results in an actual trade. Fud Alex finally saying, I hopefully Rengifo stays and we trade away Taylor Ward. That's probably what I want as well, unless you get a huge package for Luis Rengifo. I don't know who the Red Sox best prospects are. I don't know who the Royals best prospects are, but if they're willing to give up some of their better prospects, I'm talking top 6, top 5 prospects in their pipeline, then we're talking. Otherwise, probably want to keep Rengifo, pair him up with Schanuel, with Neto, with O'Hoppe, with eventually Trout. That's a pretty solid top of the lineup, and hopefully some young guys can step in the next couple of months and years to complete the lineup, while the rotation hopefully gets some revival as well. So certainly a lot to talk about in a crazy game. A crazy game the day after a really bad loss. The day after Estevez goes, we get a crazy 6-run deficit, 8 runs in 3 innings, and some key trade prospects, trade candidates coming through as well. But with all that being said, we're going to end this podcast. Thanks so much for the support. Once again, double-digit people in here live, and certainly plenty after the fact, both on YouTube and on any podcast platform. I'll leave you with this, as I always do. Please, please, please do me a favor right now. Don't wait. If you're on YouTube right now, if you're on your phone and you're watching it sideways, just flip it up and down. You'll see the like button. Click that like button, or push it if it's on your phone. If you're watching on a laptop, scroll down, click that like button. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit subscribe as well, because I go live. I don't post videos. Obviously, they're up after the fact, but I go live. And if you want to be notified when I go live so you don't miss this moment, if you don't miss the opportunity to leave your thoughts and let me respond and interact with the other people in here, you want to be notified, and that subscription will help you with that. So please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a like if you haven't already. And if you're listening to this after the fact on a podcasting platform, just do me a favor. If it's Spotify, if it's Apple Podcasts, whatever, just leave a 5-star review and leave a rating. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like about this show and about any show. I will respond to criticism. I absolutely will. So with all that being said, I am Gavin Carlson, an Angels fan just like all of you, and the Angels do win 8-6 despite a 6-run third inning from the A's. The Angels avoid the sweep, and a couple trade prospects, couple trade candidates play well. I'm signing off. I will be back here on Tuesday. No game tomorrow, but Tuesday, right in the middle of the trade deadline craziness, on the trade deadline day, there will be, of course, a postcast after the Angels game. So we'll hopefully have a lot of trades to talk about. That is the goal because we want to cash in this year. All right, I'm Gavin Carlson. Thank you guys so much for the support as always. We'll be back here on Tuesday, hopefully, fingers crossed, with a lot of good trades to talk about, and hopefully after a win as well. All right, guys, take care. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Take care. Go Halos!